So we know that right now this is mostly red, so if I mix in blue, it should make mostly kind of, well, purple, right? That's not bad. Let's give that a try and see what happens. So I'm working in my darkest area first because that's the safest area to work in. Hard to screw that up. Okay, maybe a little bit of dark here as well. Okay. And as the brush is just getting a little bit drier, a little bit less color, I'll just work towards the top. Maybe stubbling that paintbrush. You see how I'm not just giving it a stroke, but a little bit of pat? That's just giving it a little bit more texture. A lot of that might just blend out as the paint just melts together. But one of the things that makes painting more powerful than drawing, in other words, painting with a brush versus drawing with a pencil, is that, well, you know how I told you that the mechanical pencil has only one tip? It's got just the tip, and that's it. But a wooden pencil gives you the tip, the edge, and the wood. Well, a paintbrush gives you even more. You've got the tips, you've got the edges, you've got all different kinds of paintbrushes. There's just an infinite amount of things you can do with it. And one thing is you can get this sort of instant texture with it. Okay, so now that my brush is getting really, really light, I think a little bit here, but not too much. Not too much with this hill in the background. That's it. A little bit. Okay. All right, cool. And I'll let that dry before I go into it anymore. Okay. So let's see. How about we'll go over here with these rocky areas. And remember, if I want any of it to stay white, I want to just leave that white alone. Don't get anything into it. And so his hair, I'm just patting, pat, 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 not even stroking it. Of course, you'll find your own way with patting and stroking and doing whatever with the paintbrush. That's kind of where the fun is for me. That's where you'll find out what your style is. Well, notice this. You see, if I want to get something really close to the edge, I'll use the tips of the brush like this, the flat part of the brush right here. See how I get it right up to it? And that way I can get a really, really straight line with that. Hopefully you're noticing as I blend the blue over different colors, we're getting a little bit different colors. So here, this was pure red, so we're getting nice purples. Here, I had more yellow and red, making more of an orange, and you'll see that I'm getting more of a brown tone out of it. Honestly, a little bit on the gray side, but I'm kind of good with that, with the way that the light is and everything. Now, where I have the yellow, when I put the blue over top of it, it should be a little bit more on the green side. Let's see. And when I first paint it, it might seem a little bit more, well, let's see, it might seem a little darker than what it's going to turn out when it dries. But you can see, yes, it's a bit more on the green, more in the purples, more in the browns, just depending on what was underneath it. And it's all just a combination of those primary colors, red, yellow, and green. Theoretically, every color, every combination of colors should be able to be made with just those three, theoretically. In the end, it's kind of probably pretty nice to have some pre-mixed secondary colors. Sure, why not? But we'll get into color theory later. Maybe one of these boats is blue. That'd be a nice contrast. All right, here we go. Over green, so get some of that yellow into there. Oopsie, a little bit into my dock, but that won't hurt. Okay, and a little bit of the blue over that yellow right away. And it's going to get me a little bit more green. Okay, I think at this point I'd probably just let this painting dry a little bit, because once again, since this is not watercolor paper, I've got to be a little bit gentle with it. You know, because you can see here, especially in the top where I got a lot of water into it, how it got kind of stressed. Okay, so good enough for now. I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and then we'll continue this.